Hey guys, Ellie here from the garden, and today I've got some harvesting to do and some planting out to do. So come along with me as we plant some potatoes and some jalapenos and we harvest some onions. Let's go. So I'm over here at the seed bench and I'm just having a look to see what I need to take from here, and I suppose while I'm here I should show you the progress from some of the seeds we planted out last video. So Jack's giant bean as well as the Vitsa bean have both sprouted, and our gem squash is up, which is pretty exciting, and we even have a golden zucchini. On the tomato front, not too much has happened, but we do have some rodaid tomato little seedlings popping up here, and we've got some beefsteaks that have more recently popped up too. So it is a little bit exciting with seeds coming up, but for today we are just fetching these jalapenos so that we can take them with us to the veggie patch. Hey guys, so today I'm in the garden and I think I'm going to start off with planting some potatoes. In front of me I do have a container and it is filled up 1/3 of the way with soil, and I have some potatoes that started growing in the cupboard, so I'm going to just plant them up. I'm going to use a couple of the bigger ones and just place them down so that their little sprouts are facing upwards. I'm just lightly pushing them down into the soil so I know more or less what dimensions I'm working with and how many I can fit in. Okay, so I think I'm content with that. We're putting 5 potatoes in here to start, and I'm just going to cover them with soil. I first want to put these away. Right, so now that I've put the potatoes into this container, I'm going to cover them with a layer of soil. So I just brought you closer to show you that I've loosely just put these potatoes into the soil that is currently dry. I'm going to cover them up slightly. I do have some extra soil here. I've now placed those potatoes in and covered them with soil, and I'm going to leave them to sprout and turn green, and once that happens I will then come back and I will add soil, healing them up and hopefully encouraging some more growth in terms of potatoes for us so that we can maybe get a slightly larger yield. Let's hope that works out. But that's task number 1 done. Okay guys, so this is my onion patch and it didn't amount to very much, but I'm not ungrateful for what I've got. I have a couple of usable onions here, so it'll definitely make a few meals. I have all the onion tops that I'm going to cut up and freeze for chives, as well as some scapes that'll probably be used for tonight's dinner. And the remainder of the onions I'm going to dehydrate and turn into onion powder. So not a complete loss at all. Definitely still providing for my family and for my household. So today's plan is essentially just to pull out all of these onions, harvest them, and prep the soil for our next crop. Normally you would wait for your onions to fall over, and some of us have started to a degree to fall over, which means they are ready, but we didn't actually develop a lot of sizable bulbs. We got a couple of skinny onions. So by doing a little bit of research, we've kind of determined that we think our crop didn't do as well as what it could have because there was inconsistent watering throughout the season. So what has happened now as well is we've gone through a little bit of a spike in temperatures, and some of our onions have actually started to throw scapes. So this is essentially the part of the onion that the flower will then bloom from. Onions are part of the allium family, so they make these full round seed cluster style heads, but unfortunately they do not make for great storage on your onions. So generally what happens is, if your onion has created a scape, it means that the center or the core of your onion won't store as long as it would if you harvested your onions before they threw scapes. This is generally not a big deal, not for Duncan and myself at least. I am going to harvest them, and for as much onion as we can get out of it, I will dice that and freeze it for use throughout the cooking period until we run out, and then with the remainder of it I will turn it into chives and some onion powder. Hey guys, so I thought I'd bring you a little lower down so that we could have a closer look at what the onions are doing. Alright, so here's the perfect example. As you can see, our onions have actually split, and they've continued to grow just as two separate plants, and they didn't really make a bulb. And then we've got these little scapes that are coming up throughout the onion patch. That's what the scape looks like. We did get 1 or 2 onions, obviously not the biggest, but we're grateful for what we did get, so I'm going to be pulling these out shortly. Well, even though it wasn't perfect, I don't think that's anything to be laughed at. It's quite a nice little harvest of onion, and it'll definitely get us through a few weeks. So I am now going to use this space to plant out these 5 jalapeno plants. One of them is not in this particular tray because we planted that out in our last video. I'll link that above in one of the corners, so that if you're interested you can see the crops we planted into our container garden. But for these 5 jalapenos over here, this is their destination. By laying my seedlings out before I plant them, it lets me see roughly how much space each plant has to grow. So then you know if you are cramping it, or if it is too far apart, or maybe you could manage just another one. I do like to start particularly in this area because there's an indent in the garden here where it's slightly deeper, in more of a diamond shape like this, because then that'll allow me the 4 outside plants, and I definitely have enough space in the center here for a 5th. So all of our jalapeno plants will fit comfortably. They'll have room to space out, but be close enough to hold hands, because I've been told that your peppers do like to hold hands. If you know that as a fact, or if you know why that happens, please drop a comment below so that we can all learn together, because I would find it extremely interesting to know why peppers do better when they touch it. So while I'm out here, I'm just going to do a quick harvest, take a few things here and there for dinner. Alright, so this over here is our kale plant, and sadly it is going to flower. So I've decided that I am going to allow this kale to go to flower and see if I can save some seeds. I don't know that it's entirely possible, but for now a lot of these leaves are still good for eating, so I'm probably going to peel them back until about here, and we'll eat these and we'll leave this little flower and see how she goes. Some of these leaves are a little bit crispier. They've just suffered. So those will go to the chickens. They're already here and are excited. Not a bad little contribution to dinner, and we'll leave those for the flower. Hey guys, so I just wanted to say thanks for hanging out with me today, and I hope you had a good time in the garden, because I know I did, and I hope to see you in future videos. In order for that to happen, remember to like and subscribe and hit the notification button. See you in the next video, guys. Bye.